Hey Dauhl lovers, and welcome back to my channel. Today I decided that I would do my second Dauhl chat with you guys. There's some things that are going on in the Dauhl community online that doesn't sit well with me, and I've been, patiently being quiet, kind of observing what's going on, and I wasn't going to make a video about it, but I kind of feel like this needs to be said. And today we're going to talk about imitation versus inspiration. There's a fine line that separates those two, and I'm not going to pull up Webster Dictionary or Google the definition of inspiration and imitation. I'm just going to kind of give you my definition of it. Now, inspiration is when you see something online and it inspires you. It inspires you to, want to duplicate it, but kind of put your own little twist on it. When I'm online, especially on Instagram, I see a lot of customized dolls that inspire me, and I take that inspiration and I incorporate it into my own customized dolls, but I make sure I give it a twist to make it my own. That's when inspiration is a positive thing, and I always make sure that I give credit where credit is due, and that's what a lot of people don't understand or don't see the positive benefits of always giving credit to an artist, and they just copy. Inspiration doesn't mean you see something and you copy it exactly as it is and you pass it off as your own. Inspiration is just being inspired. We're inspired in our everyday lives, and it shows and it reflects in what we do as far as photo stories, as far as photographing, as far as customizing. We are inspired by what we see, and there's nothing wrong with being inspired. There's nothing wrong with seeing something that someone has done or seeing bits and pieces of what someone has done and incorporating it into your own account, into your own artistry, and giving it a spin to make it personal to you, because everyone has their own individual style. Inspiration is a good thing. I am inspired by what I see, and I know for a fact that I have inspired others because I receive DMs and messages from people saying such. Now there's imitation. Imitation is seeing what you like online and copying it exactly 100% and not giving credit and passing it off as your own. Imitation, I'm trying to find the words to say it without being rude, but it's not flattery. There is a saying that says the best form of flattery is imitation, or imitation is the best form of flattery. I don't find that to be true. So I'm going to kind of tell you a personal story. I noticed a couple of months ago that there was a Dauhlstagram account that was copying basically my photo stories, my words, taking sentences and phrases and passing it off as their own. And I debated about calling them out publicly because I'm not really into drama. I want my Instagram account to be a place of positivity where people, especially adults, can come together and we can enjoy photo stories that are geared toward more adults, and we can kind of share our craft with each other. And I opted to contact this person behind the scenes to kind of see, what was going on, why she was doing what she was doing. And I was met with attitude. This account owner had the audacity to get upset with me for contacting her. And her excuse was their stories. Everyone goes through the same situations, which is true. My stories on Instagram, when I retell photo stories, it's actually things that have happened to me in my personal life or to my friends or family. The words that I use are actually words that have been said to me or words that I have said to others. It's really personal. It's kind of like a reflection of what I go through daily, what I have went through, and I know it's just personal to me. And I know a lot of other people incorporate their personal lives and their stories into their photo stories. But not only did she have the audacity to catch an attitude, she blocked me so that I could not contact her, and I could not continue to see that she was copying my art. What I find funny is that this person blocked me from their Dauhl account but a few days later decided to follow me from their personal account so they could continue to watch and see what I was doing. And I quickly blocked her personal account. Now, I know she could make a dummy account. She could look through someone else's account. But it's for the simple fact that she was rude enough to be rude to me, even though I approached her very nicely and she blocked me, but she chose to continue to follow me from her personal account so she could continue to imitate what I was doing without giving credit. No go. I just don't find this a satisfactory thing to do. And I was contacted also by several other accounts who were going through the same thing. And this is where I kind of want to say that they expressed the feelings of, oh, I'm being petty for feeling this way, or I've been told that it's not a big deal, it's just dolls. And that's not true. A lot of us do this hobby because we're passionate about it, because we love what we do. We do this as solace. I know I do. I personally, when I have had a hard day, when I've had a rough week, that was a tongue twister, a rough week, I go to my little area in my house, as you can see behind me, and I can sit. I can clear my head. I can escape from all of the adult things that I have to worry about. I can find a little bit of peace in my artistry and my craft. This is my passion. This is my hobby. And it's not petty to be upset when things that you're passionate about, that you've spent time doing, is just stolen right from under your feet without credit, or stolen and it's passed off as like, it's no big deal, it's just dolls. Why are you taking things so seriously? That's so petty. It's not petty. It goes for anyone who has any type of craft, whether it's a painter, whether it's a person who writes short stories, books, poetry, whether it's a photographer. We put our heart and our soul in what we do. Our stories and our photos reflect us. It reflects a piece of our soul. And it's not petty to be upset about it. But back to what I was saying, I was contacted by a couple of adult accounts who just didn't know how to go about it and approaching the situation. And finally, fed up with the situation, they just called a spade and called the person out. And it was such a relief for them to be able to speak up for themselves and to finally be heard and be recognized that what that they were seeing was not just in their head. What was happening and what was going on was being observed by other people. Because so many times I think we kind of psych ourselves out and we tell ourselves that the situation is not as serious as it is, just, let it go. Or maybe it's all in my head. But to be validated by other people, have your feelings and your emotions validated by other people, that's just, it lets you know that you're not crazy. And then there are the accounts that don't speak up for themselves, and there's nothing wrong with that. But with that, it comes animosity towards your craft and your passion. You feel like giving up or not sharing your creativity and your passion with other people. And it takes something away from you, because something that you once found so enjoyable is kind of, when you look at it, it leaves like a bitter taste in your mouth. And no one needs to have that type of taste in their mouth, especially when it comes to something that you're passionate about and you love. So let me go back to imitation versus inspiration and that fine line that separates it. Be inspired and give credit where credit is due, but do not imitate exactly 100%. When you have your followers, when you have people that come to your page every day, they come to see you, to see your spin on things, to see your individuality. They don't come to see what they can go to 50 other accounts and look at. There's something special about you that made that person follow you, that made that person be invested in your account, in your stories, in your photographs. There's something about you that made those people gravitate towards your account. So just kind of give a spin on what you're inspired about and give credit where credit is due. Now, I'm not big on negativity. But I find myself as an adult having to, how can I put this? Talk to other adults in a manner in which I talk to my children. And, you know, that's not what I'm about. So I'm just going to tell the situation because this has been weighing heavily on me, and I get tired of ignoring, and I usually delete negative comments because, like I said, my account is just positivity. I deal with enough negativity offline that when I come online, I don't want to see it. As all of you know, and I'll insert a picture right here because I get a lot of comments on it, especially when I post pictures of it. I created a quadruple bunk bed, and I found this tutorial off of a website. Now, when I first created this bunk bed, I gave credit to it, but what people to the blog. But what people fail to realize is when someone shares a tutorial on their website or their Instagram account or their YouTube, they're sharing it knowing that other people are going to make their creations. The entire definition of a tutorial is so someone can duplicate something that you've made and, you know, use it in, you know, their own home and their own personal lives. My Froggy stuff. When she puts out those videos, those tutorials, she knows that there's going to be hundreds of thousands of people recreating what she put out. A tutorial is to teach you, is to show you. And I'll link the website in the description below, and I'll also link the website somewhere on the screen. And I don't want to say it wrong. I think it's Jatman Productions. She has a lot of tutorials on her website, and if you're looking to get into creating dioramas, I definitely suggest that you go check out her website because she gives measurements, she gives step-by-step photographs on how to recreate some of her dioramas and some of her props and things of that nature. But I created this months ago, and I gave credit where credit is due. But what you don't understand is when someone puts out a tutorial, yes, they appreciate the credit, but they're not always looking to be credited because they're putting it out to share their craft with other people. But it never fails. Every time I post that bunk bed, whether I'm posing it in the background or just kind of want to refresh and share it, I always get that one snarky comment that tells me, hey, that looks exactly like something that Jatman created, and you kind of copied it. Well, duh. It was a tutorial. And yes, I copied it. It was a tutorial. I saw something, I liked it, and I saw that she was freely sharing the tutorial, and so I used it and recreated it. I never passed it off as my own. I also don't feel that every time I post this bunk bed, whether I created a year ago or a month ago, that I always have to say shout out to Jatman Productions. Yes, it's nice. And if someone asks me in the comments about it, I'll tell them I found the tutorial online. I found it so-and-so place. Or I'll DM them the direct link to the tutorial and say check her out. She's amazing. She has a lot of great tutorials and dioramas and information. Her blog is just like a wealth of knowledge. Go check it out. But for the simple fact that an adult will get in my comment and try to chastise me and try to make it seem like I'm stealing something and passing it off as my own, it's kind of upsetting to me. When I share tutorials on my Instagram, and I've done a few, if someone recreates that, sure, go ahead if you want to. Give me a credit. I'm not looking for it though. I created this tutorial so you could use it in your own dioramas, in your own photographs. I'm giving these tips out, not looking for credit back. It's just I'm sharing this information to be sharing it. As adults, we always cross this line of feeling like we need to have the opportunity to give someone a teachable moment or to chastise someone for doing something without doing our research. If you're coming onto my account and you're new and you see these bunk beds for the first time, reach out to me in a DM. Say, hey, I noticed that I saw these bunk beds on someone else's account. what's going on, like what's up? And I'll DM me back. Yeah, she gave a tutorial on her website, and I, followed it. If you like to see the credit that I gave her, go back through my feed and you'll see. I don't take someone else's ideas and pass it off as my own. I'm inspired, and I try to take what has inspired me from a person's creation and incorporate it and make it my own, and I give credit where credit is due. And I just kind of rambled on and off topic, but just basically what I'm trying to say is be inspired, don't imitate. And if you're called out on it, swallow your pride and say, I apologize, I didn't know it meant that much to you, I'm sorry. I'll give you credit, or if you like, I'll take it down. I mean, when we first started this hobby, there's not a rule how to be a hobbyist or how to run your Instagram account. There's not rules. Everyone does what they want to do, when they want to do it, how they want to do it. There's just etiquette, and there's decency, and there's politeness, and it's just credit. Credit. If you're not sure, DM. If you're not sure, credit. I mean, I have never had any instance where I've ever DM'd someone on Instagram and asked them a question or asked if it was okay, and I was met with negativity. It's always positivity, and I've formed so many good friendships just from reaching out to someone and DMing them and starting a conversation and say, hey, where did you get this? Or do you mind if I take a piece of this and kind of make it into my own? I've never, ever been met with resistance. I've never been met with any type of negativity. I've never been ignored. And I guess it's from the simple fact that I had the decency to reach out and ask them for permission, or reach out to just ask a question. And it's not okay to feel like you're being bothersome or petty when you're upset about something that you're passionate about, even if it's just as small or just as little as Barbies or dolls. We all feel a twinge of something when we know for 100% fact that someone has taken something that we have spent so much time on and have passed it off as their own, and they're getting credit for it. There has been plenty of times where I have done something originally, someone has copied me, and their followers have harassed me in the comments or in my DMs and have told me, hey, you copied so-and-so. And I've had to set the record straight. No, ma'am, so-and-so copied me. And although I don't have to prove anything to anyone, there's just a piece of me that says, let me show you. And I'll go fishing and screenshot, but I shouldn't have to take my time out and do that. And I also need to step back and stop letting the negativity reach me. I find that there are times when I'm off of Instagram, as I call it, for weeks at a time. I'm not posting, I'm not taking pictures, because it has gotten to be where it's just so disappointing and it's so full of negativity, or it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth that I don't want to deal with it, that I'm not inspired anymore. And that's the problem, because all of this madness is one of the few things that I can go to, that I can do, that gives me some peace of mind. Just rambling. But yeah, this video was supposed to be about inspiration versus imitation, and I love having conversation with you guys in my comments. I love having conversations with you guys on my Instagram. So if you feel like I've left something out, or you want to share your story, please feel free. Leave a comment below. Leave a comment on my Instagram account. DM me. I answer them. I may not answer them as fast as some people would like me to, but I always get back. But yeah, guys, it's just one small thing that you can do to not tread that really thin line between inspiration and imitation. And that's just ask. And that's just give credit. That's all we have to do. This is supposed to be a fun hobby. We all need to have fun when we do this. The Instagram community is so small, but it's really tight-knit. And it's an amazing place. I've met some amazing people, men and women, who are in this hobby because they love it and they're passionate about it. We have formed real relationships and friendships offline that I know will carry on with me for years to come, and doesn't need to be filled with negativity. Life is just so short, and this community is so small that we're all going to overlap at some point. And that's fine. But, you know, it's just that one small thing that you do that can make the big difference from imitating and being inspired. And that's all that this Dauhl chat was about, guys. I'm sorry that I went, off on a rant. I didn't mean to. I just kind of wanted to speak about something that had crossed my mind and that I've seen go on in the Dauhl community online. And it's not just on Instagram, it's on Flickr as well. I don't have a Flickr account, but you would be surprised, and this is the main reason why I don't, the drama between adults concerning their dolls that happen on Flickr, the thievery, or as the Braxtons would say, the thieverization of it all. It's a hot mess. So I like to keep my social media small when it comes to my Dauhl accounts. But anyways, go ahead, guys, leave me a comment. If you like this video, subscribe, give me a thumbs up. And if you're not following me on Instagram, go ahead and do that. You can find me at the Dauhl House. Until next time, guys, much love.